trying to implement as much as you want in the spring to set up for fall camp, but also really taking those baby steps to make sure they actually retain the knowledge. What kind of approach are you taking?
I mean, we want to throw enough at them to teach them football. Right now, I mentioned this before, but we're teaching them our language, right, of what 3-week is, of what man-free is, of what 4 verticals is, the language. We want to be able to teach them the language so then we can actually teach them football. But until they know the language, we can't go practice. So right now, it's let's get the language in. Once we get the language in, which we've already started to install, then let's actually teach them the football and see how far we can go with the football based off of where we are right now.
What are the techniques that accelerate that?
Techniques, studying, like literally getting in there extra and learning the words. It's literally memorization. Now, the system that we build is we try to verb things to help kids remember things. So if we call something Oreo, right? Oreo small chocolate. If we call something brownie, it's bigger than an Oreo, so it's the same route but bigger, right? So we try to put words and things together to help them learn it faster, right? But the faster they learn it, the faster they'll be able to rep it correctly, which means the more detail we'll be able to coach and we'll be able to actually teach them football and progress.
What have you seen as far as buy-in from the guys? Like, this is getting started and that they bought into your philosophy? And
yeah, I think it's easy for me to be like, oh, they're all in. Like, that's of course. Like, when people are around me, when you're the head coach, they don't always tell you the truth. They put on, like, the act of, you know, they want to impress the head coach. So I think we'll find out at practice what the real buy-in is when there's struggle, when there's challenges. I think anybody can, you know, we're about competing and having more fun than anybody in the country, working harder than anybody in the country. But once you get in football, you face more adversity. And how do we respond when the adversity hits will be the test of the buy-in.
As you've built the culture here in the past couple months, how much do you kind of need this next step to actually get out, get on the grass and play football to actually evaluate where you're at?
Oh, it's huge, because it's where the most adversity happens. It's where you have a bad day or you get burned on a rep and you have to respond, right? It's where you and somebody get in an argument and you all start to fight and the coach breaks you up and you have the ability to put your emotions in check and go to the next play, or are you the guy that just can't get it out of your head and you've got to go get in the scuffle, right? If you jump off sides, you're going to go sprint to the goalpost and then your backup's going to hop in. Whoever the next person is going to hop in. That's how we practice. So I think for us, this is a crucial piece because we played the game of football. We actually finally get to play football.
How do you manage those expectations? A long way to go, obviously, until the start of the season. What does that look like for you as the head coach?
I mean, expectations, there are none. We won 3 games. So what's our expectation? Get better today. Every single day, right? How we define success, like we want to be lifers, we want to be successful, be the very best at whatever you're doing right now. And if you do it and you repeat and you repeat and you repeat and you repeat, then your only expectation is just to be better right now, over and over again. That's our expectation. Am I better right now than I was yesterday? Am I better right now than I was 2 days ago?
And with the leaders you have and the guys that came back, how much do they have a part in that, and how much does that help you guys as a staff?
Huge. I mean, I lean on the team to make decisions. So, I mean, when I make a decision, a lot of the times I ask the guys what they want. You know, if I disagree with them, will I say I disagree? Are you sure you want this? If this happens, this is what's going to happen. And we talk and we find an area that they understand this is still their team, but this is what needs to be done if we want to be successful. And I explain that. So I lean on the team a lot. This is their football team. It's my job to just set parameters and a standard of what it takes to be successful in college football. And we're going to set those standards. There's a billion ways to skin a cat, right? So for me, it's okay, this is what needs to be done to be successful. If you guys want to get it done this way, then we're going to do it this way. If you guys can't get it done this way because we're not there yet, then we're going to do it this way. There's a lot of ways to get the same thing accomplished. I want their input on how to get it accomplished, even though we're going to get the same thing accomplished at the end.
I know you've been busy before, but what's it going to be like getting on the field tomorrow?
Oh, exciting. I mean, it's kind of weird. We've had some meetings, and there's times where I'm like, okay, where do I go? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, I don't really have a position group, so I'm going to go to the D-line. Okay, let me go to the quarterback room, which is where I hang out with the most of the time. But that's really been the interesting part. Is the most important thing is to build a culture. Bottom line. You know, we talked about our players yesterday. The ball wins, intensity wins, being smart wins, and situational football wins, right? BIS wins. Like, if you own the ball If you play with an intensity and a passion about yourself, if you play smart, don't get stupid penalties, and if you know situational football, you know 3rd and 1 to 2 is to deny the ball down. You're going to get inside leverage man. You're going to get teams that pop to bear, and you're going to get trap coverage. And you know on offense or on defense that you're going to get mesh routes, rub routes to beat man, sprint outs to beat man. You're going to get teams to blitz the bear, and we can teach our guys that thought process that wins. It's not the scheme. It's nothing special. It's those things. So for me, that's what is the most fun part, is I get to be around and I get to teach football to everybody in terms of what actually wins, and that's the culture piece.
What will your starting quarterback have to show you to earn the job?
Smart, number one. He's going to have to make good decisions with the football, right? If you turn the football over, you have no chance. So you have to be smart, right? You have to be accurate. You have to have a high completion percentage. Can't take sacks, right? And usually people blame sacks on the O-line. Here we blame sacks on the quarterback. Every play that we have, other than a few shots, they're going to have an outlet to get the ball out of your hands in under 2.5 seconds, right? And if the 3 technique beats the crap out of our guard, right, you better know where you're going with the ball, because the worst thing in football is throwing the ball on 1st down and it being 2nd and 18. If we can throw the ball on 1st down and it be 2nd and 10, we're going to throw the ball a lot on 1st down, right? If we throw the ball on 1st down at 2nd and 18, we're not going to throw the ball a lot on 1st down, right? So if a quarterback can say, hey, something bad happened, it's 2nd and 10. If a quarterback can say, okay, I'm going to get completions and have a 70%-ish completion percentage, and if that same guy can be smart and get us into good plays, we'll be very productive. The ad-libbing and the extra plays, right, that's what separates kids if it's a tie. But those are the 3 things that we're looking for. Leadership is obviously a no-brainer, right? That's, everybody knows that.
For the players that are on the leadership council, how are they helping you build that culture?
Yeah, I mean, I just lean on them to ask questions. Like, we went to the basketball game the other day, and I said, hey, did you guys like that? And they're like, yeah, we loved it. So it's, okay, what do you guys want to do next? So we're going to go to other sporting events, right? They said they wanted to do a team outing. So we went go-kart racing and threw axes and all that stuff. So they're more making sure that what I don't feel, which is how the players feel. It's impossible for a head coach to truly know what the players are saying and feeling, because they're going to act a little bit different. No matter how cool you think you are or young, it doesn't matter. You're still the authority, and they're always going to act different. The purpose of that group is to hopefully me get some realistic knowledge of what's actually going on and what's actually needed for us to grow together, to us become a family, and for us to play for each other.
When it comes to recruiting and trying to keep the kids in state, how do you feel that mission has gone so far?
I mean, you're going to have to ask them. I mean, I have a good relationship with most kids in state. Obviously, I'm passionate about being here. I want to be here. So when I tell a kid, like, yeah, you have all these opportunities, but stay home, it's coming from a person who would make that same decision to stay home. So there's a lot that I can relate to for them. Most of the time when kids leave, it's they want to go experience something different. It's not necessarily something better, right? Most people that leave here come back, and most people that aren't from here come here, right, for a reason. So I think for us, we're building the relationship, but at the same token, you know, it's what came first, the chicken or the egg, the wins or the players. There's a process in order to sign elite players. And that's not just you're not just gonna wake up and say, hey, we're here, oh, they're coming. There's a 2 to 3 to 4 year process of growth to consistently get and win on elite prospects.
Quarterback battles obviously going to be a process that extends beyond spring, but is there something that, like, any certain benchmarks by April 15th that you'd like to reach, which was that race?
Not really. I think whatever it reaches, it reaches. If we hit April 15th and there's a clear 2, then there's a clear 2. If there's a clear 3, there's a clear 3. If there's a clear 4, there's a clear 4. If there's a clear 1 and it's not even close, then we'll name them. Like, we will name a starter and we will narrow the race when it should be narrowed naturally. There's not a framework, there's not a plan. I know it's impossible to practice in fall camp with 4 quarterbacks. It's the only thing I do know, right? It's hard enough to practice with 3 guys competing early, but you can't do it with 4. So hopefully we'd have it at least narrowed down to 3 by the time spring ends.
How do you feel the meshing of the entire coaching staff's come together so far at this point? I know a lot still to progress over time, but how do you feel that's
Yeah, I think it's going well. I think guys want to be here, you know, and I think when you want to be here, you put a little bit more into it. You know, when you want to be here and you're good people, I mean, that's the one thing that I believe we put together is a staff of just good people, and just good people. And when you're around good people who want to be somewhere, they walk in with a smile, it's contagious. And that's the whole vision of the program is walk into the building, have a smile on your face, be happy you're here, and let's go to work to be the very best we can be. And I think that's, our staff is a reflection of what your team's going to be, and I think our staff is exactly that.
Thanks, Kenny.
Perfect. Thank y'all.